Hi, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I will dive into basically three things. First, I will discuss the changes in MidJourney version 5.1, including the new RAW mode. We made a previous video comparing in detail versions 4 and 5. I will leave a link in the description below for that video. For this video, I will be taking some of the prompts from our old video and generating images and comparing version 4 with 5, the new 5.1, and the 5.1 RAW mode. And finally, I know everyone loves prompts. I will take the simple prompts used for the comparison and improve them for version 5.1 for some beautiful images in various categories. I will also create some bonus prompts for you, so watch the video till the end. Without wasting any further time, let's proceed. MidJourney version 5.1 is more opinionated like version 4. That means it would be applying more of its own stylization to images while maintaining the base improvements made in 5.1. It is much easier to use with short prompts. I will purposely use short prompts for testing and comparison and then improve them, making it a bit longer to show you how good version 5.1 is. The 5.1 RAW model adds improvement while working better with more literal prompts. From what I have tested in the RAW model is indeed unopinionated. It will generate results similar to version 5. So you'll have to make the prompts longer to get the desired results. Other improvements in version 5.1 include a higher coherence, more accuracy to text prompts, fewer unwanted borders or text artifacts, and improved sharpness. The first simple prompt is Neon Watercolor Jupiter on empty black background. And here is what we get in all 4 versions. All these images are generated as the first prompt. I have not regenerated any image for the second time. I am comparing images based on the word opinionated and shorter text. In version 4, I would say the third image is excellent. The fourth might be good, but I prefer the third one. I have no idea why the second one is in a frame. And the first one is a bit messy. In version 5, I picked the first image. It's very close to the previous third image of version 4. The third and the fourth do not have a pitch black backgrounds. The second image is plain without any liquid color flowing out. I have not defined that in the prompt, but version 4 is more opinionated. In version 5.1, I would pick the second image. The first one is good, along with the third one, but it has nothing in the background. The third image is not pitch black. Remember, we are trying out a simple short prompt and making the comparison. Such small prompts would tell us the difference in the pictures more accurately. In version 5.1 RAW, you can see none of the images have the stars in the background. However, the third image is perfect. I would still prefer version 5.1 over RAW in this set of images. Let's see all 4 selected images side by side. As per the prompt, I would say version 5.1 is the best. Version 4 is very artistic, but not what I have defined in the prompt. Version 5.1 is very accurate to the prompt. However, the RAW version is precisely like the prompt. But aesthetically speaking and considering the prompt, I would go with version 5.1. Now, let's change the prompt and enhance version 5.1. The newly enhanced and longer prompt is Neon Watercolor Jupiter, Paint Core, black background with galaxy stars, analogous colors, scarlet, colorful, science fiction, natural light. If you want something overdone, use the word core in it. In this example, I have used Paint Core, analogous colors, which means the colors are very similar. Then I added scarlet, which gives the image Jupiter a reddish hue. Plus, I have added colorful, so there are other colors, but the reddish and pinkish hues would be more dominant. In some of the other prompts in the video, I use weights, but in others, I don't. Using weights gives different results, and you must choose what images suit you. Moving on to the next set of images. The following prompt is straightforward, Cosmos in a bottle. I forgot to mention that all prompts have Q2, the default aspect ratio, and style 750. With this prompt, For some reason, all images have a flower inside. I don't know why. As I said earlier, I am not regenerating. But I managed to improve and enhance the prompt to show the cosmos. In version 4, all the images look good, but they are far from accurate. None of the images are accurate. For some reason, the AI thinks flowers equal life equals the cosmos, and that's trapped in a bottle. In version 4, I only like the first image. The second is fine too, but the third and fourth are in a garden, which I don't like or understand at all. I don't like any of these images. So let's proceed, and I will try to make the image more accurate. I changed the prompt to cosmos trapped in a bottle, imaginative, dreamy, otherworldly, hyperrealism, bokeh, ambient occlusion, luminescence, spectral color, and a negative prompt saying no flowers. And it gave me precisely what I wanted. So short prompts work for some images, but not for this image. The image is fantastic. Look at the details and the background. The cosmos is now in the bottle, and you can see the space behind it. The prompt in the next batch of images is Galaxy Swirling Fantasy Wonderland, Galactic Tree in the Sky. Wow! These are accurate and fantastic. However, I will enhance them with a more extended prompt. In version 4, the top two images are in a frame again. The fourth image has a light black background. I would choose the third image here. In version 5, all four images are excellent. I like image number 4 in this one. The prompt said swirling, which you cannot see in the image. They are good, but are not precisely what I wanted, as written in the prompt. Version 5.1 made a mess. Images 2 and 3 are in a circle. I don't like it when circles or squares are put in images. But if you notice, version 5.1 has accurately given the swirl effect in the background. All things said, I like the fourth image. The raw mode has made a mess of all images. They are filled with squares and circles. However, if you notice, it is very similar to version 5.1 and version 4. I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion. As I said earlier, I don't like frames and circles. If I had to choose, I would go with the third image. Let's see all four images I have selected. Here are the four images for comparison. In my opinion, version 5.1 is the best. Versions 4 and 5 are also excellent. However, it's how you want the image. Version 4 is very artistic, whereas version 5 is very real, and 5.1 seems like a mixture of both. I don't even want to consider the raw version. I'm not too fond of it when images are generated in circles. Yes, I could regenerate, but the whole point of this exercise is to see what AI does in the first generation of the image. Now let's proceed with enhancing the version 5.1 image. This time I have used weights. I changed the prompt to Galaxy Swirling Fantasy Wonderland with weight 2, Single Galactic Tree in the Sky with weight 3, Vibrance with weight 2, Polychromatic with weight 1, Cool Color Palette again weight 2, Fantastic Realism and Magic Realism weight 1, and finally Dreamcore with weight 2. This prompt is a wonderful image, which is in an artistic style. You can see the swirls behind the tree. The image is just awesome. In the prompt, I used a polychromatic color scheme, which means that the art, drawing, or painting would be in various colors. However, I also put a cool color palette which gave the background a blue hue. Fantasy and Dreamcore give the art a surrealist aesthetic and dreamy look and feel. Overall, I am happy with the results. The image was made using version 5.1. Let's move on to the next batch. The following prompt I tried was jellyfishes on Europa. The results would be interesting on how the AI portrays the jellyfish. By the way, Europa has water, as per NASA. I wanted to see what happens using this prompt. Except for version 4, all are awesome. I love what version 5 has done. The image ultimately looks like an alien underwater. In the raw mode, you can see the jellyfishes going from an alien-like planet. I will quickly tell you what images I like. First one in version 4. second one from version 5, fourth one in version 5.1, and finally, the third one in version 5.1 RAW. All 4 images, version 5 and version 5.1 RAW, looks the best here. Even 5.1 is not bad at all. If I had to pick, I would like version 5 here. It gives that beautiful underwater alien look. Even though these are beautiful, I have expanded the prompt to create something more aesthetically pleasing. I changed the prompt to Alien Jellyfishes on Europa with weight 3, Intrinsic Details and Fiction with weight 1, Bioluminescence with weight 2, Photorealistic with weight 3, Colorful with weight 2, and finally Triadic Colors with weight 1, and Negative Prompt with no human. Some images it created with this prompt showed human figures on the alien planet's surface. Bioluminescence gives the creature the glow, be it jellyfish or any other biological life. Triadic color schemes stand out from one another and make for a vibrant, lively color palette. Moving on to the following prompt. Skulls in a garden of multicolor flowers. Simple, yet we get some beautiful images. Look at version 4, vibrant and colorful with excellent contrast. All the rest seems to have muted colors. Here I prefer version 4 and 5.1. Notice the raw image. Again, it resembles a mixture of 5.1 and version 4. Let me quickly select my favorites from these. Image 1. Image 1 again. Image 2. And in the last raw version, image 3. Let's see all 4 selected images. Check out the raw one. It looks like a blend of version 5.1 and 4. I would go with version 5.1 for this set, as it's the most accurate in regards to the prompt. For the prompt enhancement, I changed it. Skulls in a garden of multicolor flowers, dark fantasy, grunge, surrealism, dingy colors, weird core, dirty, foggy, dramatic lighting. It turned out to be fantastic. Dark fantasy is used supernatural ideas. Dingy colors mainly give the image a gloomy, dull dark color effect. Weird core is used for the creepy and trippy effects, and I went with dramatic lighting for this one. Surrealism is used to find artistry and beauty in uncanny, unexpected artwork. The keyword works well with images that are strange, bizarre, or dreamlike. For instance, in our example, we have skulls in a garden of flourishing flowers. I think that's bizarre enough. The next prompt is minimalistic polychromatic flower on a black background. Polychromatic is something that is made of more than one color. Whenever you want images to be colorful, use the keyword polychromatic colors. The images here are beautiful, except for the raw version. In our previous video, version 4 performed better than version 5. This time, the case is the same. Version 5.1 is way better than version 5. And again, it's accurate to the prompt as the flowers have no stem. I don't even want to talk about the raw mode, which is a mix of the 2 other versions and turns out to be complete crap. Maybe you can regenerate and check it out if something comes up better than this. For this badge, I am selecting image 2. Then the third one. In version 5.1 image 4. And for the raw one also 4. For this one, I definitely prefer version 4 over any other image. My second choice would be version 5.1. The raw one is too simple, and for version 5, I don't know why. I just don't find it as aesthetically pleasing as the other ones. I changed the prompt to minimalistic polychromatic flower on a pitch black background, glow in the dark, chromism, ray traced lighting, backlighting, vibrant, split complementary colors. Glow in the dark is similar to luminescence. Chromism in art refers to the use of materials that change color in response to stimuli like light, heat, or pressure, resulting in dynamic, interactive pieces that evolve based on their environment. Ray tracing is a technique that simulates the physical behavior of light to produce highly realistic shadows and reflections. A split complementary color will create a high contrast effect, but it is less intense if you use just a complementary color scheme. I used this prompt for a specific reason, a portrait photo of a young female with pink hair. You can easily come to know which versions are more opinionated. You can also see which are more realistic and which look rendered. When we use complicated long prompts, everything looks like real life. However, getting real-life portrait photos with a simple prompt is difficult. Notice how version 5 and 5.1 are accurate to the prompt regarding facial expressions, as I have not defined any facial expressions. Version 5.1 raw is more opinionated. For version 4, they are nice, but in comparison to 5.1, you can see the difference. For the image selection, I like the second one in version 4 and the first one in the rest of the versions. If we use a longer prompt, a complicated one, we do get very realistic images in version 5.1. However, using a simple prompt, you can see that all other versions are more realistic. Notice the facial expression in version 4, which is mild, and the expression in the raw mode in comparison to version 5 or 5.1. Version 5.1 and 5 are quite accurate to the prompt, as the prompt does not define any facial expressions. Now I am using a complicated prompt in version 5.1, a portrait photo of a young female with pink hair, studio lighting, contemporary realism, hyper-realistic, pure, backdrop with tetratic colors, top light, low-key lighting, wall sconces, extreme close-up, eye level, Canon EOS R with Canon RF 50mm f-stop 1.2 LUSM lens. I won't be explaining the keywords in this prompt. We already have a video about street portrait photography which you can refer to. We are also coming up with a new video in retrospect to fashion photography. These would cover most or all of the terms mentioned in the prompt. I will drop the link to the first video in the description below and update it with the second link once it's published on YouTube. I wanted to create something in the horror category for the following two prompts. I can experiment with dim lighting, creepy walls, etc. So I used a simple prompt, a room in an abbey with a creepy looking bed and dim bulb lighting. And we get the creepiest looking beds in rooms where I would never go to sleep. Let me tell you which ones I find the creepiest. In versions 4 and 5, image 3. In version 5.1, image 1. And in the raw version, image 4. Now let's see these creepy beds in some detail. Well, I can't comment on which version rendered the best since all are creepy as hell. But if I were forced to choose, I would go with version 5.1. I don't know how I can improve the creepiness, but I will give it a shot. I added a few words to the original prompt, which now reads as a room in an abbey with a creepy looking bed and dim bulb lighting, horror, ethereal, dirty, corroded, light colors. I added Chaos 100 to get a variety of images to choose from. Now this image is beautiful. Well, not beautiful, I mean creepy. Creepy in a beautiful way. I mean beautiful in a creepy way. Yep, it is beautiful in a very creepy way. Have any of you watched Insidious? I mean, the entire series? My next prompt is inspired by that. I did get some weird results, but it should be fine. It is the pitch black room with water as flooring and bright red wooden worn out closed door. The results of this one are all over the place. Let's go version by version. First, let me tell you what I wanted. I wanted a dark room with a red door which is bright and a floor to be of water and not blood, just a reflection of the red door in the water. Most importantly, I wanted a closed door. Version 4 gave me 3 open doors, so I am going with the 4th image. Version 5 is a complete mess. This time I tried regeneration multi-times, and all of them were crap. So I took the original one and had to choose 3 cause that's the only thing that makes sense in the version 5 set of images. Version 5.1 performed the best here. I got at least 2 closed doors. The first image is reasonable. However, it made the floor bloody. I am going with the third image, with just the reflection of the door in the water. Surprisingly, the raw mode also performed better with this prompt. Again, the floor was bloody irrespective if the door was opened or closed. The first image seems best and closest to the prompt. Let's look at the images in detail. Version 4 has the best perspective, but the floor is completely bloody and it looks like paint. I wanted a door reflection on it. Version 5, I don't know what to say. It cannot handle this specific simple smaller prompt. It works fine on complicated ones I made for this door. Version 5.1 is the second best, in my opinion. Everything is perfect, the water and the door reflections, except for the perspective and that window. Surprisingly, the raw version nailed it. I would say it's the best one. I tried a lot of different prompts, including one with weights, but could not get the perfect image. So I ended up with this, a single red closed door made of corroded wooden in an extremely dim-lit long narrow passageway with wooden floor filled with water, octane render, photorealistic, dark fantasy, horror, creepy walls, scary, diffused lighting, movie Insidious 4. And I got the image almost perfect. Although the water is still too red, the image's perspective is accurate and the door is finally closed. Now that's all the images we tested for comparison. It's time for some bonuses version 5.1 prompts for you. You can check out all the bonus prompts and upscaled images in the Google Drive link given in the description below. To conclude, most of the images I tested were better in version 5.1. Sometimes by a vast scale, and sometimes the difference compared to version 5 was neglectable. At this point, I don't think raw mode should be used. In my testing, one of the 10 images looked better or the same in raw mode. So my advice would be to go with the default version 5.1. If that doesn't work, then regenerate a couple of times. Remember, always regenerate with the same version a couple of times. If you don't get the desired results after regeneration, move on to the version 5 mode, then the raw mode, and lastly, the version 4 mode. In my opinion, it never comes to that. For me, the problem is always the prompt. Changing the prompt does the trick. I am personally using version 5.1 only, and I keep experimenting with different wordings in the prompts, using weights and negative commands. Even shifting the wording from the end to the prompt's beginning will make a difference.
If you have watched till here, thanks. Please like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to receive a notification as soon as we upload a new video.